The opening that I think has the most success at a very early level is the London system. So that begins with the queen's pawn, and then you go for a setup based on the dark squared bishop on f4, and then pawns on e3 and c3, and then knight to f3. And what you do is you add layers to this. You start learning more and more about the London system. The point of this video is to just get you thinking about the right opening. Why do I think this is the best? Because it follows all the basic principles, like fighting for the center, but without any of the drawbacks. Everything you develop is solid. Everything is defended. Your king is very safe, which can be different than playing king's pawn stuff because there's all sorts of tricks and traps. And the game plan in London as a beginner is honestly not that complicated. I'm just playing, you know, regular recreational moves that you might see with black when you have the white pieces. And the next step of the London is putting the knight on e5 and creating some sort of attack on the king. Sometimes you castle, sometimes you don't, sometimes you castle the other way, sometimes you create a kingside pawn storm, sometimes you break in the center. But the game plan is very easy and your position will look consistent every single game that you play. Another opening after d4 that you can try to go for as a beginner is the Stonewall with e3, something like bishop d3, and then the move f4. And you go for the same thing, except your dark squared bishop stays home, and the difference here is that this pawn is advanced. What that means is in the future, you will have the open rook. So in a perfect world, you still get the knight to the center, just like in the London, but in this version, you also can go here with the rook, so it's a bit more aggressive. It has a positional drawback in the sense that your central square here can be blocked, and if black is able to block it, the position can get closed. But those two openings with white have had the most success over my years of teaching. And if you go for e4 and you play principled stuff, what I would say is this. Play knight f3 on the second move against e5, but e5 doesn't have to happen. Try to put a second pawn in the center if you can, and if you can't because it will get taken, make sure you can at least take back with the knight, if not the pawn. c3 and d4, pawn c3 and then pawn d4 is also very good. You should definitely bring out the bishop. This to me has had the most success, and now fried liver if possible. Check out the fried liver video if you haven't already. And maybe here you play c3 if you don't go for a fried liver, so that you can take the center. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have two pawns in the center if you're a beginner. People will melt. If you learn how to control the center with pawns or with pieces, and then push into your opponent's position, once you castle and everything is ready to go, you will be very, very happy, and you will be able to win a lot of games.